Excellent. So let's get into tonight's presentation. It's a pleasure to be back here at Heal Thyself. I've had the pleasure to present for these cohorts several times throughout the years. And I know Moselle and I, vision is aligned when it comes to helping individuals adopt a plant-based regimen for optimal health. And so what I know for sure is that Moselle and the team spends a lot of time teaching you guys the science behind nutrition, science behind lifestyle. So I actually decided to take a different approach this evening. And I want to talk specifically around mindset, because being a health coach for many years has taught me some key things. And so I pulled out 4 specific things that I believe you guys need to know tonight to proceed successfully toward your health goals. So is that all right, y'all? Is that
absolutely,
all right?
Absolutely.
Okay, all right, beautiful.
Yes.
Let's go. All right, so I'm going to share my screen here and we're going to rock and roll. I want to talk about belief systems this evening. Okay, so I am the founder of a company called the Black Health Academy, where our mission is to eradicate the most common chronic diseases which disproportionately impact people of color. So just looking at all the attendees this evening, I know I am in the right room. So I'm super excited to be here with you all. And who am I? So I'm Lisa A. Smith. I am the creator of 2 signature coaching programs, Farm to Table Plant-Based Coaching Program and the Plant Protocol Plant-Based Coaching Certification, which I'm super proud to say is the first plant-based coaching certification to be founded by a person of color. So we've made history, y'all. We've made history. So many people of color are migrating to a whole food plant-based lifestyle for all of the wonderful health benefits. And so I felt like we needed to make sure that we had coaches and subject matter experts who were specifically qualified to lead us to this beautiful lifestyle that is a whole food plant-based vegan lifestyle. And so I created the first plant-based certification to be founded by a person of color, which prioritizes people of color and marginalized communities. So this is all my contact information on the screen. We'll revisit this at the end if we need to, but let's get into it. So I want to talk about our mindset this evening. And I want to specifically highlight 2 specific questions that we typically ask when it's time to reach our goals. Well, one specific question that we ask and one that we should be asking. It's a better way to say it. So many of us have goals, have health goals, have life goals. And what I found to be true after many years of health coaching is this: you're probably asking the wrong question. Now, there's one question that all of us ask on a regular basis, and then there's another question that I rarely hear asked when we're trying to reach our health goal. So the first question that most people typically ask is, what do I need to do? What do I need to do? We typically do ask, what do I need to do? How much water should I be drinking? How many plants should I be eating? Is there a superfood I should be doing? Like, what type of exercise should I be doing? We all want to know, what do I need to do? What do I need to do? Like, we want the strategy, we want the formula. If one thing doesn't work, we believe there must be something else that I should be trying. When what I've learned over the years is it's rarely the system, it's rarely the strategy, but it's usually the end user. It's usually the end user. So instead of asking, what do I need to do? I want you guys to try asking, who do I need to become? Who do I need to become? So instead of asking, what do I need to do? We need to focus on who do I need to become? Because here's the thing about it. Here's the thing about it. The truth is you already know what to do. The truth is that you already know what to do. And when most of us are raising our hand, asking, what do I need to do? Asking for another strategy, more than likely, we already have a handful of things on our list that we know we should already be doing. Who can relate to this? We're trying to get new strategies, but we're still not even drinking the water we're supposed to be drinking, eating the plants we're supposed to be eating, doing the movement we're supposed to be doing. Like, you guys know the basics and the fundamentals that are required to achieve your health goals. And so while so many of us are in pursuit of new information, most of us will benefit from stopping and surrendering to the information we already have. Am I right? Can I get okay?
Absolutely.
Thank you, thank you. I see Linda nodding her head. I see a few of you guys. Okay, thank you for that confirmation. I really appreciate it, right? And so we need to be asking, who do I need to become? And even more apt, what do I need to believe? What do I need to believe? So what I want to gift you with this evening is 4 beliefs that I would love for you to adopt so that you can move quicker toward becoming that absolute best version of yourself. Deal?
Deal.
Okay. Beautiful. Excellent. Excellent. You know, I gotta get some energy. Moselle, you know, I'm used to being in person. I'll be needing that energy. Okay. All right. So here we go. Let's work through these truths. Y'all ready? What do I need to believe once and for all to reach my health goals? Here are 4 limiting beliefs that I have found that have kept my clients in situations that didn't serve them longer than they were supposed to. So before I do that, let me show you who I was and where I am now, okay? So this is me at about 190 pounds, quickly approaching 200 if I wasn't already in this picture, appropriately with a plate of crumbs, okay? Some cake crumbs. Those don't look like kale crumbs either, y'all. Those ain't spinach crumbs, if I'm being honest, okay? So here I am, still eating my sugar, eating my stuff, overweight, all right? And here I am today. Okay. And I was about 190 pounds, y'all, overweight. And I did all the things, right? What you see in this picture is evidence of the work I did, right? What you see in this picture on the right is evidence of me changing my diet, evidence of me drinking the water, evidence of me doing the exercise. However, what you don't see in this picture on the right is evidence of how my mind changed and the new belief systems that I had to adopt to finally stick to what was required to live a life of optimal health, right? So when we see before and afters like this, that's usually what we ask people, like, girl, what did you do? Right? Am I right? Like, yes. What did you eat? What did you do? But I want you to look at before and afters and say, what did you have to start believing? What did you need to believe to finally put the sugar down? What did you need to believe to finally say no to all of that oil? What did you need to believe to leave the meat alone? Like what made it click for you, Lise? Like that's the questions I want y'all to start. I want you to start getting into the belief systems and the mindsets of individuals who have had these amazing transformations, okay? So let me show you 4 beliefs that I had to evict. Let's get into it. Here we go. Number 1, it runs in my family. We're gonna make it plain. I put it in plain language that I know we all use. It runs in my family. Now, here's what happens. Here's what happens when we adopt this, it runs in my family, into our spirit. It lets us off the hook. It lets us off the hook because we're saying, listen, doc, listen, coach, this excess weight, this diabetes, this hypertension, it's my DNA, it's not me. Right? It runs in my family. Therefore, there's nothing I can do about it except try and manage it for as long as possible with medication, try and manage it by making sure I, attend my doctor's appointments on time. But what if I told you that genetics play less than a 10% role in the conditions that we're battling, and it's 90% lifestyle? So I'm not saying genetics don't matter. Absolutely, your DNA plays a role in your potential outcomes. But here's what I need you to understand about genetics. It is a probability equation, which means if mom, grandma, and 2 aunties all had breast cancer, it is true that you may be more likely to get breast cancer. That is a probability equation, which means your probability might be slightly higher than someone else's. However, our daily lifestyle habits determines the genes that express themselves. Does that make sense, everybody? Mm-hmm. So yes. While you might have the gene, what you feed the gene, how you hydrate the gene, how you exercise the gene determines whether or not the gene is going to express itself. I cannot overstate the importance of understanding the small role that genetics plays in our health outcomes. We have to stop blaming clogged arteries on grandma. Clogged arteries comes from the saturated fat and the cholesterol that we are consistently consuming. So I am not saying that your chances aren't higher than mine. His chances aren't higher than his when it comes to certain health challenges. Absolutely. If you had 2 parents that both have Alzheimer's, had the ApoE gene, absolutely your risk is higher. But here's what that information should do for you. When you have something that several people in your family had, that is data that should inform the next decision you make. It's just like having two parents that were alcoholics, which might make you believe I have a higher chance of becoming an alcoholic if I drink. That means that maybe you should refrain from drinking. It does not mean that you are guaranteed to become an alcoholic. If somebody battled depression, you are not guaranteed to battle it. So what we expose our genes to from an environmental standpoint determines whether or not they'll express themselves. Does everybody understand? Now say, if you do, I want you to type in the chat, I'm back on the hook. I'm back on the hook. My genes is no longer letting me off the hook. Let me I'm not moving to the next slide till I get some confirmations. I'm back on the hook. I'm back on the hook. Okay. Let me see it, y'all, because thank you, Dr. Gina. Thank you, Bonita. Not darn. Bonita said, darn it, I'm back on the hook. Absolutely. You better stop blaming grandma for that high cholesterol and get that meat out your diet. What is we doing? Okay. So yes, you might have a higher probability, but that doesn't mean that you are guaranteed to have those negative health outcomes. You can still have a high quality of life, even though everyone in your family is overweight. It doesn't have to be you, okay? So the takeaway here is you are responsible for what genes express themselves. You are responsible for what genes express themselves, okay? You're back on the hook. Well done, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, number two, the next belief that we absolutely must evict in order to accomplish our goals is this. We have to stop believing that everything in moderation is okay. Now, listen, I don't know if we have doors here, Moselle, but this is the point that you will lock them. Don't let nobody leave the meeting because I'm about to step on some toes, okay? Listen, ladies, please, you have to evict the belief that it's okay to have everything in moderation, no matter how unhealthy it is. Microdosing yourself with toxins and poisons is not going to get you to your health goal. Just because you went down to a personal size bag of chips instead of a family size bag of chips, do you get credit for that? Absolutely. But that doesn't mean now you just have a small personal size bag of chips every evening. Listen, if your body or your mind is compromised, okay, if you can hear my voice right now, and you know you are not in the most optimal state of health, whether that be physically, mentally, or emotionally, you absolutely must evict the belief that you can have a little bit of everything as long as it's a small amount. This is not an adequate approach to optimal health. First reason is because you moderated yourself to the condition you're in right now. Right? It wasn't one meal that added that weight. It was not one meal that got that diagnosis. It was not one decision that caused you to be prescribed with a medication, which means what? That means that you moderated yourself to where you are today. You are not going to moderate yourself out of it. It is at this point that you must choose abstinence. Listen, if you've already been diagnosed with something, or if you haven't been diagnosed with something, but you know you're unwell, you know you're overweight, you know you don't feel good, you know you have chronic pain, chronic headaches, chronic fatigue, it is at this point that you have exhausted your privilege of moderation. Moderation is a privilege, that is reserved for those of us who have done the work to get our bodies and minds to a place of optimal health. When the body and mind is compromised, we have at that point lost moderation. It is at that point that we need to take the gloves off and do everything in our power to lose the weight, to put the condition in remission, to get off of the medication, to feel better. I understand it's challenging to give up the sugar, the oil, the chicken, the shrimp, the cheese, the ice cream, the butter. But if those are the things that got you to where you are, what makes you think you can just reduce them a small amount and still get to where you want to go? You cannot change and stay the same at the same time. You're going to have to choose. You cannot change and stay the same at the same time. You absolutely must make a choice. You absolutely must make a choice. So here's our takeaway for number 2. Smaller amounts of the bad stuff is not a viable strategy. Smaller amounts of the bad stuff is not a viable strategy. Do the work that you're avoiding, go through the detox, go through the withdrawals, go through the cravings. They aren't going to last forever. Get on the other side of that addiction or that dependency on that caffeine, that dependency on that sugar, that dependency on that fried foods. Do the work that you're avoiding. And all of the work is not in the kitchen. Some of us have some personal development work to do. Maybe the work needs to be done with a counselor, a coach, a therapist, because you're using food for emotional support. Do the work that you're avoiding. If you got it, say got it. Can I get one person to say got it before I move on to number 3?
Got it.
Okay. I don't know if
Got
that
it.
was a hurry up
Wow.
and move on, got it. I don't know if that was a hurry up and get out of my lane, stop driving down my street, got it. But I'm gonna go ahead and move on. Okay. Beautiful. Let's get into number 3, y'all, because ain't nobody said got it that quick in the history of any of my presentations. Move on, Lisa. Okay. Say less, say less. Okay, so here's number 3, y'all. Here's the third belief we must evict, that optimal health is the destination. Now, let me explain this, okay? We all want to be healthy, obviously, right? We all want to live long as possible. We all want to be around for grandkids and great grandkids, or for all the money that we save, and we want to be here to spend it, right? And so for some of us, what we've done historically when trying to reach our health goals is we made health our destination. We decided that the goal was to be healthy. But here's the new perspective that I want you to adopt. Optimal health is not the destination, it's the vehicle. So what does that mean? That means you have a responsibility. At the point that you become the best version of yourself, you have a responsibility to use all of your gifts and your talents to leave the world a better place than you found it. And you can only be optimal to do that, which means becoming healthy is now just a vehicle to your assignment. Becoming healthy is simply a vehicle to your assignment. Some of you have books inside of you. Some of you have companies inside of you. Some of you have nonprofits and mission work inside of you, but you can't do it because you're tired all the time. You can't show up because you don't feel well. And so your health has become a liability instead of an asset. So our health is meant to be an asset that helps us to arrive on assignment as the best version of ourselves. So here's the deal. My gift, like undoubtedly, is speaking, teaching, and coaching. I love it. I do it well, and I do it for a living. I get to wake up every day and do what I love. Like, I love this work, okay? And that is the reason I gave up refined sugar several years ago. Not just because I wanted to maintain a healthy weight in the 65 pounds that I lost that I showed you guys a while ago. Not just because I wanted to live long, well into 150 years old, which I'm going to do. But because I recognized that every time I got on stage and I had recently had sugar the day before, the night before, whatever, I had chronic memory loss. You guys would never know it, right? Because I would just skip over that part. I just wouldn't tell y'all that story, or I just wouldn't give that bit of science because I couldn't recall it as quickly. But I gave up sugar, not just so I can be physically great, but so that my gift could be regifted. Everyone listening here has a gift, and your gift is meant to be regifted. But that is impossible if you are unwell. So it is at this point that I need you to recognize that optimal health is not the destination. It is just the vehicle to get you to the assignment as the best version of you. Moselle is a great example of this. She started this nonprofit in her 70s. This would have been impossible had she not prioritized her health. She spent years as an educator, retired from that career, had a mission inside of her, decided to execute on the mission, but was only able to do that because she was well enough to do it. Hats off. That is the type of life we're all meant to live. Do you guys understand that? So up until this point, you've probably just tried to do it for you. which is a great reason, but I can almost guarantee that it also hasn't worked. Like you being your only motivation ain't working. So I want you to think about all the people that are being disappointed by your disobedience. I want you to think about every single person that is meant to be on the receiving end of your gift and how they are being robbed of that every day that you wake up overweight, unwell, medicated, and tired. Who are you letting down? Somebody's disappointment is tied to your disobedience. Somebody's disappointment is tied to your disobedience. So here's the takeaway for number 3. Our health is meant to be leveraged for greater good. Our health is meant to be leveraged for greater good. Can I get an amen?
Amen.
All right. There it is.
Amen.
Yes.
Amen.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, ladies. Okay, y'all ready for number 4? Here's the final one. Here is the final one. The final belief that I need you to evict in order for you to accomplish your goals is this. Healthy habits require a transition. Healthy habits require a transition. So let me tell you where this comes from. You know, I've been doing this work for a long time, and I do speaking engagements virtually. I do them in person. I have a podcast. I'm coaching all the time. I've had hundreds of students that I've worked with, touched thousands of lives and communities. And sometimes I will run into people who have been to one of my classes, one of my lectures, been through one of my programs, and it's maybe been a while since they kind of raised their hand in my ecosystem. And you know what I would hear all the time, y'all? What I would hear all the time? They would say, I'm not where you are yet, but I'm in transition. Ooh, who's guilty? If you're guilty of using the capital T word, put guilty in the chat. I'm in transition. I'm in transition, Lise. I'm almost like I've given up beef and pork and chicken. I'm still eating. I'm in transition. Okay, Katrina said guilty, guilty, and guilty. Okay, okay. Amy said guilty. Okay, I'm in transition. Here's the truth. Here's the truth. I'm gonna give you your own truth. Okay. Get ready for it. Matter of fact, everybody hold on to their seats so you don't slide up out of it, okay? Here's the truth. The truth is there are some things in life that require a transition, and there are some things in life that simply require a decision. And when people say, I am in transition, it is this ambiguous time frame that they use to make an excuse as to why they're not making the decisions that are required to get the result. Like, how many people know you can make a decision tonight and wake up tomorrow and never touch another piece of meat? Slowest transition in the history of transitions, right? Like, it does not, everything doesn't require a 6-month, 8-month, 1 year, 2 year transition. It don't take that long to give up pop. It doesn't. It does not take that long to give up the meat. It doesn't. It doesn't take that long to let go of the sugar. I woke up one day and made a decision. I said, Lisa, are you going to choose yourself? Are you going to continue to be a slave to this substance? Or are you going to choose the people who are waiting for you to deliver on your gift? I chose y'all. I chose y'all. I made a decision. I did not have to transition off of sugar for 3 years. Yes, you reduce the amount to make yourself feel better. So now you get the personal size Pepsi, that what they come out with an 8-ounce can now instead of the 2-liter, and you pat yourself on the back for 6 months off of that. At what point are you just going to make a decision, say, I will no longer be a slave to this substance? Cheese ain't that good. Don't get me wrong, it's good. None of us is going to argue that. But there is no way that cheese should be standing between you and optimal health, you and delivering and executing on your gift. There is no way that ice cream should be your downfall. There is no reason why all of these chronic diseases should be continuing to be like flushed through our community simply because we are refusing to make decisions. So here's the takeaway here. Be bold enough to make the decisions necessary for you to reach your goals. Be bold enough to finally say, this will no longer have power over me. I want you to take your power back from food and stop using ambiguous terms like transition to avoid making decisions. Is that resonating with somebody tonight? Okay, I see Katrina clapping. Come on now, y'all. I should have rolled up my standing there. I need to be standing there. I don't know how bad I want to stand up, okay? So I am so happy this resonated with you guys. Here's what I want to do, all right? Because, you know, it's easy to motivate people in 20 minutes. Trust me, I got it down to a fine science, all right? But I really want you guys to understand the power of limiting beliefs. I want you to understand the power of limiting beliefs. So I want to gift all of you guys with my masterclass. It's no cost to you. And it's called Behavior Follows Belief. Behavior Follows Belief. This is a masterclass that I did a couple of months ago, where I went even deeper into these limiting beliefs that keep us stuck. And I think you guys are going to really enjoy it because it was in a class setting. And so you get to hear me coach some people live, all right, through the limiting beliefs. And so I want you, every single person that is listening to me right now, you need to download this masterclass. I'm about to drop the link in the chat for you. Just drop your name, drop your email, download this masterclass, and commit to watching it within the next 72 hours. It's a decision. Put the time on your calendar and watch this masterclass, because I'm telling you, there are things that you already know to be doing that you are not doing. And it has nothing to do with you needing a new strategy, needing new information, needing to learn more nutrition science. It has everything to do with your mindset. So if you are committed to watching this masterclass and going deeper in the next 72 hours, I want you to put a 1 in the chat. Just drop a 1 in the chat. Just drop a 1 in the chat. We got Tierra, Professor Diane, Donna, Bonita, Rhonda. Let's go. Pamela, Asha, Linda. Oh, look at all these commitments, Moselle. Now you saw.
I'm looking. I'm loving it.
So let me drop it for you guys. This on the screen here is a testimony from one of our attendees when I taught this class live. Leah said, what I am understanding is that what I am learning is bigger than what I eat and how often I exercise. While I have been settling for good enough, I've discovered that what I want is great. I'm not going to settle for less. Lisa, thanks for making this clear for me and the many others who are fortunate enough to learn from you. You are the truth. That's just one testimonial from this live masterclass. So let me drop the link for you right now in the chat so that you can get your masterclass and get your life. And I want you to report back to either me or Moselle, because when you drop your name and email in here, you'll get an email from me. And so you can just reply to me directly or let Moselle know how much this has impacted you and changed you, because as coaches, we need that feedback to continue to do this work at a high level. So it's going to be super important that you stay in contact with your coach in your community. So here it is. Here it is. There it is for you. Everybody click on that. Take a moment right now. Click on that link to get my masterclass, Behavior Follows Belief. I see the emails, people dropping their email in the chat. Just click on the link I just gave you and put your email in there. If anybody needs assistance, raise your hand and let me know. But just click on the hyperlink that I just dropped in the chat and enter your information for this masterclass. And I don't know if I have a few moments for questions. I know we said we're going to try and take some. I don't know if there are any. You guys let me know.
Put your question in the chat, everybody. Lisa gave this class a few weeks ago at Wayne County Community College, and people walked out there. They were not walking out in transition. They were walking out having made a decision. Pam made a decision. Her nemesis was potato chips. She got rid of it. I was up again on that sugar thing. I haven't had any since. So, I mean, it's about mindset. Make up your mind to do it. I see my cousin Cal just made up his mind to give up whatever it is he wants to give up.
Yes, go Cal, go.
I'm loving it. Lisa, you are beautiful. You are amazing. What can I say? Thank you,
Oh,
girl. We're going to establish a big statue for you right downtown here in front of the Rensen building.
don't gas me up. I'll come posing though. Let me know when it's picture day. I'm a pose. It looks like we got one question, Moselle. Dr. Gina says, how do you accomplish your journey to better health? It starts with a made-up mind, Dr. Gina. It starts with a made-up mind. Before you start exploring strategies and different, dietary approaches, exercise regimens, all of this stuff, first things first, I want you to make up your mind that you're going to get it done no matter what. So you won't let anything have more power over you than you have over it. That's number one. And then number two, I want you to get crystal clear on what you want. So you put better health, but I want you to define what better health means to you. And I want you to be specific as possible. Is that a number of pounds lost? Is that putting a condition in remission? Is that getting off a medication? Like, do you want to be able to jump high? What do you want to do? You want to get up and down without holding on to anything? Do you want to walk up 10 flights of stairs without being out of breath? Do you want to go mountain climbing and travel the world without any aches and pain? Like, what does better health even mean to you? Because better health could just mean tomorrow you wake up and you pop up instead of being tired, you're better, but you could have all the conditions, all the weight, all the whatever. So one of the things I do with my mastermind clients is I force them to call in and get specific about what they want. And what I found is that a lot of times they have issues with this assignment because they have so much doubt about their ability to accomplish it that they are afraid to even raise their hand and proclaim that they want it. So the first step is to decide that it's a non-negotiable, a no matter what situation. And the second step is to get crystal clear on what better health means specifically to you and for you. And then I want you to say it aloud. It is a powerful assignment, but say out loud what you want and what better health looks like for you. And then that made up mind is going to carry you to the next step that you need. Okay, you're welcome, Bonita.
All right. And so we have a lot of new people on, Lisa, who are hearing you for the first time. And I can tell they are not only impressed, but they have a made up mind and they're leaving here having made a decision. They're no longer in transition.
Won't you do it? Won't you do it? Listen.
That's right. We're only in week 3 and transition is out the window and decision is here, is now. The here and now. I love it. I love it. I love it. So some of the new people like Benita and Evelyn and Asha, who may be hearing you for the first time, hey, listen up. You're here for a reason tonight. And God is with you and with us. Thank you, Lisa. We love you. Thank you for always saying yes and being so willing to share your talents and your gifts. And we appreciate you.
Pleasure. My pleasure. My pleasure. I really appreciate it. I love coming to speak to Heal Thyself. I put my contact information on the screen one final time. You guys take a picture, write it down, whatever you need, so that we can get you to where you need to be from a health perspective, because your gift is waiting to be regifted. I love you guys. Good night.
Love you too, honey. Take care. See you next
time. Thank you. This was excellent. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Absolutely. God bless you.
Thank you, Lisa.
You're so welcome.
Yes. So we have got